Hello. Okay. So I was asked how to create this in Blender. So I did a tutorial on how I created this in Ventus. And what we'll do is create this in Blender. So let's jump straight in. So what we want to do is get us the snake bump texture. So you can do pretty much, there's a lot of textures. You can go for this one, that's Scale Forge one, which I'm using. And there are a few different ones with different bumps and different distortions or different scales, or entirely up to you what texture you go with, or you can create your own Photoshop. I have this one. I like this one. It's nice and clean, easy to use. So let's jump into Blender. Boom, we've got Blender. New empty scene. We're gonna delete everything in there. We're gonna add a mesh torus. I'm gonna zoom in. So I'm just gonna shade this smooth, nice and smooth, and I'll just add a modifier to this subdivision. There we go. Next, I'm gonna create a material. I'm gonna rename this snake skin. Snake skin. You can call it whatever you like. We're gonna go to our shading tab. Okay, I'm gonna make this slightly bigger. What we're gonna do is get our texture. So with your textures, I've saved mine to the desktop already. So I'm gonna go here, add texture, image texture, and we want to load this in. So it's on my desktop. This is it here, 73693 bump. And I'll type that into the color so you can see it. There it is. Now I'm going to use a bump node, drop that in, and link normal to normal, and the height to color. Okay, and you can of course play with the strength from that. So I'll just change this to like 0.5 for now, and we can adjust this later. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is change the UV mapping a little bit. So we want to, direction the scales are going in the wrong way. So we want to correct this. So where the vector is on our texture, we're going to add in mapping. Okay, so add the vector. And under the vector here, we want to connect and tap in UV, and we're going to choose texture coordinates. Okay. And on the rotation of the Z, we'll rotate this 90, as you can see. Now we have the scales going along, and now we can change the width. If you want to increase that or decrease it, you can. So if I take it to like 1.5, I've got more scales in there, and of course I can do this 1.5 and increase that, or I can leave that one at 1. As long as you don't see the seam, you're right. If you use to drag this and you can see the seam, that kind of breaks it. So what you want to do is make sure you don't see the seam, and you'll be fine. So I'm happy with that. Now you can of course, like I said, change the bump. You can change that roughness, make it more glossy. Entirely up to you. Changing that, you can see it's nice and glossy. Anyway, we're going to disconnect this color and disconnect the base color. We're going to add our own color to this. So what we're going to do is use a color ramp. Make that color to base color, and I'm going to add copy the mapping and texture coordinates. Copy, paste, and we're going to link this to the factor. So, and where it says where we got the vector go to the UV, we want to go the vector to the object. But it's almost, the gradient working on thing. I'm gonna change this to like something like a B-spline. We get a little bit smoother transition there. Okay, so the black I might change to like a green, a dark green, and then the white to like a more vibrant green. Of course, you can do pretty much any color. Actually, maybe I'll just leave that as black. And that looks cool. Just good. And then you can change the position. So you can play around with the position. You can play around with the rotation pretty much. If you want to move these around, you can. It's entirely up to you. We can even scale this. But yeah, have a play with that anyway. And there you go. So it doesn't have to be these colors. It can be whatever colors you like. And here you can play around with the specular. So you can bring the specular down a bit and increase that roughness. Okay. It's just finding that right balance of, you know, what you want. Play around with the strength here, the bumps. Okay. And looking pretty cool. I'm happy with that. And once you're happy with this, you're just gonna go into your layout, the back, and turn it on here. You can see it in EV. So we're in EV view, EV render. Okay. And what we want to do is add another object. So we want to add an empty to our scene, an axis. I'm going to select the torus, then the axis, and I'm going to parent these together. Parent to object. So now if I move this axis, it will move this torus with it. Okay. So next what we're going to do is keyframe the torus. So we're going to open up the little side menu for the transform. N is the shortcut. And we want to animate the rotation Z. Okay. And we want to go 0 to 360 in this direction. Of course, you can choose whatever direction you want to animate it in. There's no rules. Anyway. Insert a single keyframe. There we go. I'll make sure I change that to 360. Oh. Place keyframe. There we go. And this now will loop. However, you do notice it ramps up, the animation ramps up, then it ramps down. And we don't want this for our loop. We want it to be a linear animation. So what we're going to do is just interpolate those keyframes, right click and interpolate, and set these to linear. So now when you hit play, it's a consistent speed, and it's, you know, it will loop at the same speed. It won't ramp up and down. So you get a nice loop. Okay. Next, what you want to do is Shift D. Oh, do that. Make sure you select both. So I'll select both of these together. Shift D. Now if I click on the empty null or the object, so say the axis, and now offset this, scale this, rotate this, position this, and start to create, you know, the looping snake, as you can see. So I'm just going to repeat that. Shift D, click this, position this in a different position, and take this off in a different position. And so on. So I'll just keep on repeating this process like so, as you can see. So you're happy with it. Shift D, and you can keep on adding to this, and you can build it up, and you can, you know, you can create all kinds of shapes. You can scale this up, down, you know, you can have some smaller, some bigger, entirely up to you. You get the idea. Now, what I'm going to do is just do a vertical split. So, we're going to add a camera into our scene. Pull this camera back. Now, if I hit 0, we'll go into the camera view, and I'll hit home to fill the screen. Here, I'll go to view, and I'll just say camera to view. If I press N, it will hide this menu. And now I can position the camera. You know, I can fill this screen up. So, you know, get this into my shots. Let's also move these tools in out the way, and let's just turn off these UI. If I click on the camera option here in the viewport, just change the passport out to 1. So now we're just focused on there. That's our camera view, what we're seeing. Okay, now I can do is select everything here again, select them all as a group, Shift D, and what I'll do is just move them up, scale them in the background. Can of course rotate this, you know, and I'm just filling that space. There's no, you know, there's no, do it, Shift D again, move it over here to the left, and just make sure none of them clash with the other. So here you can see I've got clash, and that kind of breaks it. So I can move this maybe down here. So make sure I do select the axis rather than the torus itself. There we go. Alright, I can fill that space. And now if I drag the animation, you can see now we have this cool animation. We've got this nice highlight, you know. It's looking cool. Now, if you're happy with that, then you can start adding lights to your scene, and you can add the ambient occlusion. So as you can see, as I add the ambient occlusion, add something to it. If I increase that distance to something like 12, you know, it just looks a lot more cooler. And then we can add like screen space reflections, increase that, and then maybe you want to add a light in here, white lights on them here. And if I increase that power to 1500, make sure we go into our preview here. Now you can see the light. And let's put this down to 1500. You know, I can start to light this and create shadows and, you know, different highlights or whatever it is, and light from beneath, you know, and as you get the animation. It's up to you. Now you can play around with that. Maybe that's too powerful. So maybe something like 800. Maybe I want to put it behind the light from the back, and then maybe I want to add a tint of color. You know, it could be green, blue. It's entirely up to you. Like I said, there's no rules to how you like this. And of course, you can go back to the material itself on the snake skin, and you know, you can play around with that roughness. You can make it more glossy and break up the specular, and you can tweak that. And you can it's up to you how you like the scene entirely. But there you go. Hopefully that's some use. What I'm gonna do from this point is I'm gonna render this in Eevee. So what I'm gonna do is just delete this, and I'll just make it change my renderer to Eevee. I mean, so cycles. I'm talking about Eevee, but cycles, and we'll just go to the GPU. And just add a backdrop. You can just put in a plate. It doesn't matter. I just want to put a little plate behind it. So, hey, that's a cool effect on its own. Yeah, it's going through the plane. But yeah, anyway, I'll just put a back plate here. Of course, I can put a material. You know, I can make this green. You know, just adds that. Just fills in those little gaps, you know, rather than it being, you know, grey. Next, we can do is move the world. Choose a world, whatever you want. Maybe lower that strength. There you go, it's starting to look really nice as it starts to denoise. I can turn the denoiser on here, and as well helps it denoise quicker, and just to give us a preview idea, you know, an idea of the preview. But you get the idea. Now if I add some Gobo texture light, so I'll go horizontal, and I'll go to the asset browser, go here. So I purchased this from Blender Market. They're fantastic. You can get them at a good price right now, so it's sell, I believe. But yeah, you can light the scene and add some nice shadows to this, for example. So I could use something like these leaves. Drop that in the scene. Up here, you can see we get this nice cool, you know, just add some variation to the light and the detail on the shadows. You know. And it just adds so much depth to that. Really simple. There you go. Now we have looping animation ready to render. As well, we want to blur the shadows a little bit, so that's a little bit softer. Hey, keep on playing with it. We can, you know, make it look real nice. But there you go. Hopefully that was useful. Yeah, but feel free, you know, change the colors, experiment. You know, hopefully that was useful. Maybe I want a mission, and you know, I can backlight it from behind. You know, again, it can be green. You see, it just emits a green, or it can be blue. You can get all kinds of cool effects, and you can bump that up. You get all these kind of crazy effects. Yeah. But yeah, experiment, see what works, what don't work. Um, I'll render a loop out and I'll post the link. So if you want to use that, you can. I'll make that free as well and add it to my loop. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully that was useful. Enjoy your day, evening, morning, night, wherever you are. Thank you again. Don't forget hit the like, share, subscribe. Helps me grow. I'm trying to hit that 1K for a long time. But thank you again. And bye bye.